Hey y'all, it's B.Sade, and you are now tuned in to Gems and Tips, where we discuss all things beauty and fashion, business and finance, and wellness. And today we are here with Danyelle, owner of the Glam Hair Collection and X2 Fitness, which is a clothing and fitness brand. So Danyelle,
Hi.
thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
You look great.
Thank
you. Look
you.
blessed.
Thank you. So do you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the hair industry.
I started doing hair when I was younger. I would say around teenage years. I did it throughout high school, and then in college I started to do a little more as I made friends there in college, and it just became a passion of mine. Once I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, it became a profession of mine. So I got in the industry very young, still doing the exact same things that I was doing then. Just over time, the industry does evolve. So over time, I've just wet my feet a little bit with different techniques of installs. But my passion is truly for natural hair and extensions. So doing hair has been a journey, but literally it's been the same since day one. The passion has been the same, the love has been the same, and it's where I'm at now.
I love it. So let's talk about these amazing hair masks.
Okay.
So talk about the hair mask services because I have had them. And if you follow me or have ever seen me with the natural hair flourishing, I do utilize these masks. So tell us a little bit about the mask, the ingredients, because they are handmade, and the benefits of those masks.
Sure. So the cool thing about it is when I designed the aloe vera hair mask treatment, it kind of plays back from when I was in college. I went to school. I was a science major. I didn't go to school to do hair initially. So me designing the hair mask came from just noticing things about my own hair. Once I had my second child, I lost a lot of hair. Most women, or some women, will experience postpartum hair loss.
Okay.
And I was looking up ways and researching ways to figure out how to get my hair to grow back naturally. I didn't want to go to the doctor about it because I'm a person, I'm into health and fitness, so I don't really like putting unnecessary things in my body. So I just did a lot of research, learned how to concoct or come up with a formula that would promote hair growth. I learned that, of course, essentially your scalp is skin. And a main ingredient that I use, which is the aloe vera mask, is very, very good with skin healing properties. And it's hydrating. It promotes hair growth. So, of course, that was going to be my main ingredient. I knew that. And then I just did a little bit more research along the way, and I put in other things with it as far as like essential oils and things like that. So once I got the mask that I feel like, I have done this one time, two times, three times, so many times. I'm just always trying to perfect it, right? So once I got the mask to where I felt like it was good to start trying on other people, I did it. And it was amazing because I never realized how many women kind of suffered the exact same thing that I was suffering. And it wasn't only postpartum hair loss. It was hair loss for stress reasons, genetics, chemical damage, anything like that. So once I started using the mask on people and promoting it, it kind of blew up. And it is right now today my most booked appointment service.
I do not doubt that.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's giving.
It's
giving everything it needs to give.
It is definitely a gem.
Absolutely. Sure. So understanding the importance of not just making people look beautiful, but also kind of diving into healthy hair care for the girlies who are, the Black women. How often should we wash our hair?
So that's going to vary. There's, as you may know, there's different hair types. Everybody's head scalp is different. There may be 2, 3, however many women with a same pattern, but everybody's hair is different because we all have different lives. We're all affected differently environmentally when it comes to our hair because you may smoke and I may not. Okay. I may work out, you may drink water. It's just so many different factors that play into hair care and scalps. So what I would say is if you're a person who wears extensions a lot, and let's just say you're in sew-ins, it's not possible really for you to really get your scalp clean once every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. So while you're in that install, I always tell my clients at 3 weeks to between 3 and 4 weeks, we need to be looking at cleaning your scalp because what you don't want to happen is an overgrowth of dirt, oil, sweat, all that stuff in there. And then you have smells. You know, you have issues with itching and things.
I'm so sorry.
Brittany,
But
what?
that is a thing.
It is a thing. It's a thing. People don't understand. They feel like when they're in a sew-in, they could just wear it. So not true. Not true at all. You have to make sure if you're not washing your hair at home, if you're someone who goes to your stylist, that you get your hair washed. My recommendation for my clients, 3 to 4 weeks. In that time frame, we need to be cleansing our hair, cleansing our scalp, because we want our scalps to stay healthy. That's the foundation of healthy hair. So.
Right. But is there such thing as like overwashing? But I guess that goes into understanding your hair. But there is such thing as overwashing your hair.
Absolutely. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that water is not necessarily the way it hydrates our body. It doesn't necessarily hydrate our hair. So if you're someone who's constantly putting water in your hair, you're also going to have to be the same person who's constantly hydrating it, because you're going to dry your hair out. So if you're washing too much, your scalp is going to naturally secrete oils and stuff. It's going to supply what your hair needs. So if you're constantly washing that out, then your hair, you're going to start experiencing dandruff, breakage, and things like that. And you don't want that. So you don't want to be washing too frequent.
And I think that's great that you know a lot about hair care, because I think that there's like a difference between someone who just kind of does installs and someone who really understands hair. So I can appreciate having a stylist that understands the benefits of taking care of your natural hair as well.
Great, thank you.
So let's switch gears a little bit, because you just started an at-home fitness program.
Yes,
tell us a little bit about that program and what kind of made you start that? So
essentially, I'm a gym girl. I like to work out. I like to go to the gym. It is something that keeps me going, keeps me on. I look forward to going to the gym. And when I'm not able to go, it's like everything is messed up, right? But my life isn't everybody's life. And I have 2 children. It is hard for me. I have children, like I have childcare for them. Everyone doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who miss out on opportunities to get their bodies in shape, just to get their health, become healthier, because they can't make it to the gym. They don't have maybe a ride to the gym.
Yeah.
They can't afford a gym membership. They don't have the childcare to go to the gym while their kids are home. There's so many different reasons, or even just the confidence. They don't want to go and be looked at. I'm still one of those people. I don't like going to the gym and people are staring at me.
Yeah.
So there's some people that alone will keep them from going, to work out. So they miss out on that. And I felt like all the things that you do in the gym, aside from the big equipment and things like that, you can buy weights on Amazon. You can buy weights online. You can buy a ton of gym equipment and create your own place at home. So that's what came to my mind. I'm like, okay, let's figure out a way to have a guide for people who just want to work out at home, who don't, actually want to go to the gym. And I just took some time. I scheduled out like a week, and I just like filmed it. And I wanted to make it very personable. I wanted to make it like I'm filming at home. I'm literally, this is my house.
Yeah.
Like, this is my house. I'm showing you how I'm literally at my front door, like recording. So people don't feel like, they have to have like this extravagant place to work out.
Right.
Pick a spot in your house. You can't afford weights, use a pot.
Okay.
You can't afford something, use your child. He's heavy, things like that. It's like, this is
that
real
people
life
don't
stuff.
think about.
Right. So the guide pretty much just tells you, it's not necessarily a trainer or a training guide. It is, I don't know what to do. Okay, I can work at home, but what do I do? You can literally click through it and say, okay, out of these 12 exercises, I favor these 4, and I'm going to work on these 4. It's literally just ideas of things to do.
I love that.
So it's not just like, do this on Monday, Tuesday. No, you click through it, and it's video examples on how to do it, just telling you, exactly what you need to do. So, and I wanted to make it affordable too. I know that training can be very expensive, especially today. So I wanted to make it very affordable for everyone. Inflation is crazy. So I priced it at $39, and you have access forever.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can work out at home for
Yes,
only
you can.
$39 flat, not a
Get
month.
fit and fine right
one
from home.
time fee.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that, because a lot of people kind of gatekeep, or everyone feels like, if I have this knowledge or I have something to give, I have to charge for it on an ongoing basis. So that's really nice. And I never thought about that. I thought that was such a cool idea as far as giving someone a guide. And it's from someone who may not be a trainer, but who understands fitness and who understands how to get your body in shape. So I think that's great. I'm excited about it. I will be getting that guide. So as a super mom, you know, I always congratulate you for that. I know so many super moms, and you were one of them. And even more so just being a mom of who we call a genius, Jai.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
How has that experience been, being a mother and experiencing having a child with autism? And do you have any tips for mothers or, I mean, even fathers, just parents of individuals that...
So the experience has been actually great. If you know anyone else who has a child that has autism, it is a job that's like mom, but like really, really super mom, because it takes so much patience, right? So when I first learned of my son's autism, I kind of knew before his doctor, and a lot of doctors kind of shy away from it because they don't really know where it comes from. They don't know really what to do. They really don't even have the resources and tools to point you in the right direction. So it takes extra time, extra research, extra work to try to figure out what you can do for your kid, because essentially it's a social disorder. It's not that they don't understand. A lot of them do have developmental delays, speech delays, things like that, but essentially they are genius kids. And I always say children with autism, it's not really a disability, it's just a different capability, because there's times where I may do something one way and then he'll do something completely a different way. We get the same results, but the way he did it is like, oh yeah, that's a much better way to do it. Like, I'm the fool. Like, what's going on? He makes me look crazy sometimes. But the journey has been great. I truly feel like Jai was my first kid, right? So I truly feel like Jai, I had to have him. Like God literally chose me to be Jai's mom, because he was like, listen, Danyelle, I got to teach you some things, right? I have to teach you patience. I have to teach you how to really care for things, because I wasn't that person before I had my kid. And I feel like Jai has really brought things out of me more than I'm bringing, out of him.
Yeah.
He started in therapy at 2. He was diagnosed at 2. He started in therapy at 2. He's 5 now. And before, he was nonverbal. But I was like, oh, no, you're going to talk, because I know you can. Yeah. And I always say, when you are interacting with a person, not just a kid, but a person with autism, I always feel like if you really look and, what they say, you have to get on their level, sometimes physically, but literally too. So if you really look at them and, it's like there's a person in there that wants to get out, and they just need help trying to figure things out. They know it. They just don't know how to get to it. So that has been the thing with Jai. Like I said, he was in therapy. He went from nonverbal to verbal. He talks now. They do what a lot of them have stemming behaviors. So behaviors that they'll do when they are sometimes excited or frustrated. They don't do well with emotional expression. So therapies, if you are a parent, not just a mom, but a parent of a child with autism, therapy. Okay. It is number one, hands down, the best thing that has ever happened to him, besides having a parent or parents in his life that were patient and willing to learn. I stopped working. I was like with him all day and night. Like, it changed my life. And I researched so much, and it's just like now he's a completely different kid. So the goal for me was, when Jai is 18, 19, 20, a grown man, he needs to function as a grown man, not as a kid with autism. Right. So that's always been my goal. But as far as tips, stay consistent. Stay consistent. Don't give up on your child. Don't say they're bad. They're not bad. Yeah. If you were hungry and you couldn't tell someone you were hungry, you would be frustrated too. If you wanted something, you couldn't express it in any way, you would cry. You would have tantrums. You have to remember, they're still a kid. He's still, at the time, he was 2. Terrible 2 is still terrible 2. It just has autism as well. So a lot of people try to rule it out because, one, pride. A lot of people, they don't want anything to be wrong. I didn't either. But the weight that was lifted off of my shoulders after finding out, I was like, oh, okay, now I know what to do. Let's get on it. Let's do it. Before, I was like, why is I'm trying to read a book. He's ripping the pages and throwing the book, So I'm like, what is wrong with this child? So, yeah, we went and we got, his diagnosis. And since then, it's just not been a smooth ride. It has been a very, very long journey, and it's a lot. It takes a lot, but it's 100% possible to get your child, you know, where they need to be academically, developmentally. All of that is possible. So.
And I've even personally seen the progression, like with Jai. So that's amazing that you're doing that.
To sleep, remember?
I sure did. Those lullabies. I love that. So for Danyelle, right, what is really important? What do you say to yourself, or what affirmations do you think about that get you going?
So the first thing that came to mind when you initially started saying that is, I always say every day when I wake up and I pray, I always pray some of the same prayers. And the biggest one for me is, Lord, let something that I do or say today have a positive effect on someone's life, right? It is something that, you know, it drives me. I know that we all try to find our purpose in life, and sometimes that's a journey, you know, that can go for years. But I truly believe that what drives me is service. I love providing service to people. So even in the beauty industry, it's not just about doing hair. Like I tell people a lot of times, when my clients come and sit in the chair, it's like, it's a little therapy session. And sometimes they be like, ooh, thanks for the therapy. They don't say thanks for my hairstyle. They say, ooh, thanks for the talk. It's like, okay, but do you like your hair? You know, they don't care about that part. So that's a service that I can provide to a woman that possibly it may have taken her whatever it took for her to get there. You never know, because sometimes people have to put a bill on hold to get, you know, their hair done. You know, you just never know what it takes for them to make it to you. So I'm always appreciative of that. And other than that, just providing service in any other area, I love to make people just feel good about themselves. You know, you never know what just a simple compliment or anything. So that's my daily affirmation. Like, I gotta make a difference in somebody's life in just the slightest little form. That gets me going.
I love that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being the gem that you are at all times. You. And before we head out, let the people know, how can they find you for your services?
Of course. So you can find me on Instagram, my Instagram for my hair services. If you want to learn any knowledge about hair care, it's going to be at The Glam Hair Co. Okay, that's on Instagram. And then the same for Instagram on my fitness. It's going to be at official X2 Fitness.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Danyelle. And thank you for tuning in to Gems and Tips, where we discuss all things beauty and fashion, business and finance, and wellness. Be sure to subscribe, turn those alerts on, and stay tuned for the next Gems and Tips.